00 to 015. Hook, aggressive, fast. Imagine you're a German ace in 1943. You see a massive, ugly American fighter, you laugh, you call it the flying milk bottle. 2 years later, you're praying you don't hear its engine. Because this joke just erased 3,752 of your friends from the sky. This is the P-47 Thunderbolt. And it's time you learned why the Luftwaffe feared it. 015 to 045. Intro plus context, April 1943. The US enters the air war over Europe. The Germans are winning. Their Messerschmitts and Focke-Wulfs are tearing up American bombers. Then the P-47 shows up. It's huge, 7 tons, short, fat wings. German pilots took one look and thought, free kill. They were dead wrong. The P-47 had 3 secrets that turned the entire war around. Secret number 1, 045 to 220. Chapter 1, you can't kill it. Durability. The P-47 was a flying tank. Literally. Take Robert S. Johnson, June 26, 1943. His Thunderbolt gets ambushed. 20mm cannon shells rip through his cockpit. The canopy explodes. He takes over 200 bullets and cannon rounds. His rudder is gone. The plane should be dead, but it's not. Johnson flies 500 miles back to England. On landing, they count the holes, over 200. The crew chief just said, "Sir, how is this thing still flying?" That's because the P-47 was built around the Pratt & Whitney R2800 Double Wasp, a massive air-cooled radial engine that could take hits all day and keep running. Unlike the liquid-cooled engines on Mustangs and German fighters, one bullet to the coolant system and you're done. The P-47 shoot out 4 cylinders. It still had 14 more to get you home. The Germans learned fast. Shooting a P-47 was like trying to kill a brick wall, 220 to 350. Chapter 2, a wall of lead, firepower. Okay, so it's tough. But what made it terrifying were the guns, 8.50 caliber M2 Browning machine guns, 4 in each wing. Do the math. That's 100 rounds per second. The P-47 carried 3,400 rounds of ammo. That's 34 seconds of continuous fire. For comparison, a Messerschmitt B-109 had about 7 seconds of ammo. One 2-second burst from a P-47 could put 200.50 caliber bullets into a target. Pilots didn't shoot at German planes, they hosed them down. The effect? German pilots called it the flaming coffin maker. One hit on a fuel tank and the 109 exploded. One hit on the wing and the wing came off. This wasn't dogfighting, this was execution. And with 8 guns, you didn't have to be an ace, you just had to get close. 350 to 520. Chapter 3, King of the Stratosphere. High altitude. Here's the third secret, the turbo supercharger. While German fighters were gasping for air at 30,000 feet, the P-47's engine was having a party. That massive turbo behind the cockpit forced air into the engine, letting it make full power where others were choking. Why does this matter? Because World War II bombing happened high. B-17s flew at 25 to 30,000 feet. German interceptors had to climb up to them. But at that altitude, the FW-190 and BF-109 were sluggish, slow. Then the P-47s would dive from 32,000 feet at 500 plus miles per hour. The Germans called it the dive of death. You couldn't run, you couldn't turn. Gabi Gabreski, a top P-47 ace, described it perfectly. We'd come down like a freight train. They never saw us coming. The Luftwaffe's high-altitude advantage, gone, overnight, 520 to 640. Chapter 4, From Fighter to Nightmare, Ground Attack. By 1944, the Luftwaffe was broken. So what did the P-47 do? It changed jobs. It became the best ground attack plane of the war. A Jabo, Jagdbomber, with 8.50 cals plus 2,500 pounds of bombs and 10 rockets. The P-47 became a one-plane army. The numbers are insane. 86,000 railway cars destroyed, 9,000 locomotives, 68,000 trucks, 6,000 tanks and armored vehicles. After D-Day, German soldiers gave it a name, Der Gabelschwanz Teufel, the fork-tailed devil. Although that was mostly the P-38, for the P-47 they had a new condition, Jabo fever. It was the sound. That deep thundering R2800 engine, when German troops heard it, they'd abandon their vehicles and dive for cover because they knew everything in a 1-mile radius was about to be deleted. 640 to 740. Chapter 5. The verdict, industrial warfare wins. So 15,683 Thunderbolts were built, more than any other U.S. fighter. They shot down 3,752 enemy aircraft in the air and destroyed tens of thousands on the ground. Luftwaffe General Adolf Galland admitted it after the war. We made a terrible mistake, underestimating the P-47. The Germans built beautiful Jingme planes, The Americans built a brute, and the brute won. Because wars aren't won by the best plane. They're won by the best plane you can build 15,000 times. The P-47 wasn't elegant. It was American industrial power with wings, and for 2 years, it was the sound of Nazi Germany losing the war at 7:40 to 8. Outro. Engagement. The P-47, ugly, overpowered, and absolutely legendary. But was it the best American fighter of World War II, or was the P-51 Mustang better? Let me know what you think in the comments. And subscribe for more forgotten war stories, because history is metal, and you just heard why.